I knew Josh and Spencer. I thought they was like locked in. They ain't gonna vote Billy. No, not at Final Four. Bro, I get there and this girl say Billy, then Josh fold, then Spencer wanting to do it too. I'm like, oh man, it was like a Hail Mary. I gotta throw that bitch. I gotta see who gonna catch the
ball. Welcome back, everybody. Yo, this is Real Talk.
With real siblings and
real siblings, baby.
Let's go. We got the champ in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Billy CEO.
The undisputed winner of season 4 of Sequester in the house. What's up?
You know, nothing much. Just chilling, eating my popcorn. Well, I watched this season 8-10 million times.
Yo.
Yeah, how many times have you watched it since it ended?
So now I'm probably like on so I always watch it. Like I watch it while I'm at work. I'll have it planned, but I'm not really paying as much. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like I've really watched the season. Now I want to say I'm like halfway through fully watching it again. My birthday is this weekend, so I was gonna like
happy birthday.
Dedicate. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Aquarius, you know, all day. Shout out to all my Aquarius. Y'all know it's the time of Aquarius living up 2021. You know, shout out to y'all, baby. I got yeah, my birthday is this weekend, so I was like, my girl, she's not really doing nothing for me, so I'm like, I guess I'm gonna just chill at the house and I'll probably record a little bit and then watch some Sequester. I want to watch all the interviews with, you know, the entire cast. So
yeah, definitely
want to support them if they supporting me.
Dope.
Even if they're not supporting me, I'm still gonna watch it.
I mean, everybody's been supporting you. Everyone has been. I mean, everyone's talked about just like, yeah, that was Billy won that game. Like her game was flawless. Her social game was flawless. She deserved that win. So it's been all love.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear that because you know I gotta sometimes block the haters. But I don't even know if I have any because I'm blocking so
many. Well, look, if you need to keep it real about some people, you already know that this is the place to do it. So, you know, don't hold back. Say what you gotta say.
I'm definitely not gonna hold back. I'm like real open with a lot of what I say because I shared it with the cast. Like I knew people were gonna have to watch me, and I told them like in the game, you know, you're only seeing your perspective, so you don't see everyone else's. I'm gonna get tired of this word. I've been saying it all week. This my word of the week today. You know, like 2 weeks for the past 2 weeks. But like it's like I got to see everybody's game from a different point of view, and now that I've seen the game, I kind of respect some of the game because you got to understand you're in the house. It's freaking intense in that piece. You know, it's not like a walk in the park. It's not like you're just. It's so convoluted. It's like crazy to like put myself back in that mindset of how fast paced it is, and then the amount of time you're sequestered and being left in your thoughts. So being left in your thoughts can either one drive one mad or two make a person, you know, self-reflect and become a better person. In my case, I practice already that focusing in my thoughts. Meditation is being here, lost in my thoughts, spending more time with myself, with oneself, than trying to entertain the masses. So in that sense, it's like watching it during that time. Yeah, it's like I was in my thoughts, but I also was in my thoughts trying to analyze everyone else's game and try to figure out what is going on and who you really can trust. And the thing is like that blinds you too because you're so focused on people you trust. Do you really trust them though? You know, you could be a little bit. I'll preach, y'all, so y'all gotta stop me from preaching.
No, do it. Go ahead.
I will. I'm just saying, like, I'll go in. I can go on a tangent, like, of the mindset throughout the entire game and what I did wrong, what I did, and I can't really say I did anything wrong because at the end of the day, you know, people say, "Oh, you won, so how did you do anything wrong?" Because I played a game thinking I was playing one way, and then to watch it, I realized, you know, it's perspective. You know, from my point of view, I thought I was playing the right way. And from other people's point of view, people probably think, oh, she was being snaky. She was doing this. She was doing this. She was doing this. You know, but hey, it is what it is. I'm happy with my gameplay.
You absolutely should be.
You should
Absolutely.
be.
Let's go back to that finale episode. Let's get your reactions to that. So that episode was wild. There were tears shed. There was a major backstab. I was team Billy Joe all the way, and that got broken up. So
we saw it coming. We saw it coming. I kept telling you, I was like, you can't trust that Josh. You can't trust him. But you could. I mean, Josh was good to you. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, he had to look out for himself, but he was good to you.
I mean, to be real with you, like I understood Josh in that moment. And it's like I understood, you know, and then at the same time I was so mad because when I watched the season back, I didn't I thought Natalie made him. Like in the moment of the game, I thought Natalie made him feel like he needed to vote for me. And then the moment he voted for me, it was just like he had to stick to it. You know, he had to stick to it. So in my mind, I'm seeing it in the most humblest way. Like, oh, Josh, you're not trying to stab me in my head. I never saw it like that. And it's like instantly, I didn't think of it like that. That funny,
explains a lot. Because I always wondered, I was like, why didn't you threaten to drag him? It's like, okay, you after all this, you're gonna backstab me. I'm gonna drag you. But it sounds like in that moment, like you saw that as Natalie's doing. Like Natalie was the one that poisoned that relationship.
That made him, that initiated that in his mindset. Like that initiated that. And the moment he was caught in a situation where, you know, he got enough votes, you know, he's like, Billy, okay, I gotta vote with them, you know, Billy, I gotta vote with you. Because you gotta understand, like, me and Josh really we had a tight relationship for real, and we still do. Like we still have a tight relationship. I love Josh. Like that's my boy. You feel me? Yeah. And it's like with that moment, it's just like you could see it in his face. Like his heart was broken. Like trying to vote for me, like having to have to vote for me. And although you know he knew it was good for his game, it just like you could see it. And yeah, he could have changed, he could have turned his vote. A lot of people could say like he could have changed it to Spencer, or Natalie could have turned it on me. It's like in that moment, it's so intense. You are like, it's a different type of emotion. It's like a different type of energy. It's like, oh my God, just feeling you. It's like I can't really explain. Like I can never ever like even that episode, it didn't fully grasp what happened at Final Four, because you know they got to cut some things out, and they have to edit it so it can make sense, because a lot of talking that is out of place. You want to make sure things are in place, and watching it back, it just still didn't fully embody what happened. Like it's crazy. Like that was a moment, but I was never gonna. I was okay. Let me stop. When I found out, like postseason, watching the show as a viewer, Billy would have dragged Josh, knowing what his plan was, and would have said, I'm gonna drag your ass. Stop playing with me, boy. Don't you dare, you know? But in the moment, it's like you're so caught up in the moment, and in a moment I'm like, his hands are tied. There's like nothing he can do. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy to hear. That's wild. Yeah. Because I had the same question. Is like, what? I was like, Billy's the most kind, amazing person I've ever seen, because like she got betrayed and she handled it so well. Like, she wasn't vengeful.
So gracefully.
Now I know you really would have cut his ass if you knew.
Yeah, you backstabbing little piece of shit.
Oh damn! Tell us how you really feel.
Hey, give me that real talk.
Okay, so when we saw you at that final table, and obviously, like, you know, Natalie comes out the gate with her threat, and then we see, you know, obviously Josh on board. Like, how much of what we saw from you was just raw emotion and just Billy, like, just flying by the seat of your pants in terms of like letting your heart lead, and how much of it was strategy in terms of your plea to Natalie?
None of it was strategy. My strategy was fucked. The moment she came out the gate, I was not expecting for me to be the person. I'm like, nah, you know, none of them think I'm really doing nothing. They didn't know nothing about the killer versus detective round. Not many people seen what I did with the Jacob and Spencer round. No one really seen that I was really running majority rules. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was running it with my alliance. So, but I also made sure Natalie was a part of that majority. Like facts. Like I came to her and said, you need to follow me everywhere. I will make sure you're in the majority. So it's like knowing I was going to already be in the majority. Like a lot of the things, you know, the jury round, a lot of people didn't know because I wasn't out front with my plays. Like if I would have got an LOS, I would have never told anyone I had an LOS. Period. Like when I watched back and I seen Mona tell Jacob, I told this girl, I was like, he was going. Then you went around the whole house, Final Six, telling everybody, I got the LOS. I got that. I'm like, girl. This is me watching the season back. I'm like, there's a lot of things I just would have kept to myself. And I'm thinking, okay, I get the Final Four. Hey, I made it. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I can say is, I ain't going to no battle match. But like, other than that, I wasn't claiming any of my moves there. I was like, I was gonna get there, and I was gonna, I knew Josh and Spencer. I thought they was like locked in. They ain't gonna vote Billy. No, not at Final Four. Bro, I get there and this girl say Billy, then Josh fold, then Spencer wanting to do it too. I'm like, oh man, it was like a Hail Mary. I gotta throw that bitch. Who gonna catch the ball? And like I'm looking around, like, okay, so like as I said to y'all, like at the beginning of the season, I said to everybody, I'm big on eyes. So I'm like, I'm looking around and Spencer ain't giving it to me. It ain't locked in. I look at Josh, and for a moment, you get what I'm saying? Like, I looked at him and his eyes went like, he was talking to me. I said, Josh, how you feeling? And he went like this, and he came back, and I said, oh, Josh, he done clocked Billy. He coming from Billy. So I turn and I feel like I can't even explain like this like wave of like understanding. I don't know what I felt. I can't even put it into words, but from Natalie, it was like, locked in. You the only one I could trust. And you the one coming after me. You the one came out the gate. Yeah. Straight out the gate. I'm talking about Brown Star. Josh, if you don't vote Billy, I'm dragging you. I'm like, well, don't do Josh like that. Like, I literally said that. Like, I'm like, don't do him like that. No, Josh. Like, and then I said congratulations to everybody, but it sounded like I said congratulations first, but I did say congratulations afterwards. And then I'm like, like what's going on? Like, and then it's like I literally started to like pick up this like, I don't know what the girl, I don't know what I picked up. I don't know what I picked up, bro. I'm sitting up here like trying to pick it up, and I pick it all up, and Natalie just like locks in with me, and it was done after that. It's like it was like I just know I had to like plead to a different side, and I think I tapped into it. I seen the switch, like I would say it over like on silent podcast. I was like,
shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out. You know what I'm saying? What's good? But I seen it snap. Like I seen it go off in her eyes. This light. I was like, oh my God, the light went on like that shit, and it was over from there. Final 2, baby.
I think
wild, man. For you to recognize that.
Yes, that. For you to recognize that. And like earlier you were talking about like essentially like having that mental fortitude coming in, right? Like when like thinking about it coming in, and like the time that you spent, when you're in a room by yourself thinking about it. And to me, that mental fortitude that you had, that emotional intelligence that you had in order to like see people, evaluate whether they're lying, evaluate essentially like where their spirit is at, like where their heart is at, and like accurately. I feel like that is what set you miles apart from everybody else. Because we saw someone like, we saw Marcelo, he crumbled because just mentally he checked out. Even Jacob at some point mentally checked out. Natalie was dealing with a lot of like her own mental insecurities in the game. And so like, I felt like the whole way through, you were steady, like the whole way through. And then like, once you see that, it's like, oh, of course you're going to win, because it's a social game, but there's clearly a huge mental component to it, and you had it.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the biggest thing, is that so many people were so caught on oneself, right? That they were not focused on other people around them. Like, if I protect you, I know you most likely gonna protect me. If you build that relationship with everybody, we all gonna protect each other. But it's like that mental mindset that I had was like, I'm gonna play a selfless game.
Yeah.
So you play a selfless game, eventually someone's going to be selfless. And I think that's like that's a statement, like, and that's why I embraced Natalie for what she did, because in all actuality, she didn't have to do that. Wow. She didn't have to, that for some people that just would not have touched their spirit. I could have said it till I was blue in their face. Nobody was gonna catch on to it.
It didn't touch Josh. Josh didn't change his mind. Spencer didn't change his mind.
I'm saying Josh was working with me very closely.
Yeah.
Very closely. So it says a lot about who she is. You know, not just who I am, but who she is. Like she's just a beautiful woman, like all around. And we're very similar in many ways. It's just that I've learned from a lot of things in my life that has put me here. And you know, I think this Sequester is a way to get on that journey of learning whose oneself is and how to change oneself, because it brings out literally, it can bring out the worst in a person. It can bring the bad, it can bring the ugly, it can bring the great. You know, what side are you gonna fall on? Like what piece of the cake do you want? You know, that's how I look at it. Cause I, like, the whole time I was really in there, I would dog those boys. I was dogging people in this thing. In confessionals, I was.
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, if you were saying one thing and then I caught you in a lie, I'm going in on you in confessionals. Because I wasn't playing like that. Like, I low-key, my perspective of the game, like, I low-key thought I had only great intentions, and I did, you know, but like watching the game back, I'm like, damn, you know, now seeing this person's perspective, I could see why I did not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm that type of person, like in life, you know, I want to, if we're getting into an argument, I want to be able to see why we actually got into this argument. How can we fix this argument instead of keep arguing? So, you know, just like this game taught me a lot, you know, it allowed me to see myself in the mirror. And I'm really happy with what I saw.
For me, watching you play this game, hearing what you just said reminded me of what it felt like to watch you play this game. I've always thought that, like, you hear those moments about, like, some good Samaritan doing something amazing, right? Someone, like, tackles a shooter, the dude that tackled the shooter at the Waffle House, right? Like, these people who are living normal lives but have incredible fortitude. And, like, I feel like whether it's God or the universe, like, something is pushing them to this moment where they get to display all that work so much of society only honors, like, the economic work you do, right? If you make something for Google, people celebrate you, or if you win a sport, but, like, there's people out there doing work on who they are and what they, you know, how they treat other people. And this, I felt like this season Sequester was the universe's way to show the world the work you've been doing as a person. And it was beautiful to watch.
Brother, I appreciate that. Like, all praise to the Most High. Okay, God, I'm gonna say that a million times until I'm blue in the face. And whoever Most High is to you, Most High is Most High. Yeah. And I want to say, like, I know for a fact, like, I was gifted with something, and it was a test for me, you know, to follow through all the way through. I completed that task. And I was rewarded based off of the task that I completed. And straight up, my intentions was right, but what I saw was wrong. So does that make sense? Like, I saw, and what I saw in the moment was this person being this way, this person being this way. Oh, they're not true to the alliance. They're being this way. So I can't mess with them no more. So now we're going against them. Like, I set like little balls to roll. And sometimes it didn't stick, and sometimes it did. Sometimes it was a snowball, and eventually you were gonna get out, you know? Yeah. And I feel like, I promise you, I feel like the universe, God, right? Or Most High, or whoever, to you, you know, that being wanted me to show there is a positive light, and you can be positive and still make it all the way to the end with all the beautiful rewards. You don't have to cut corners. You don't have to be this type of person. You don't have to play this type of game to get to the end in life. You could be who you are and just appreciate everything. Like, I appreciated everybody in the house. Even when Brent, you know, would irritate me, I still appreciated him as the character he was. I thought he was funny. Like, I thought dude said some funny stuff, but then also there's moments where I was really mad at him. But I don't hold everybody. Like, it's the game, right? But you gotta also know that person that you play is somewhat who you either want to be or who you have a little bit of in you. I'm sorry, like, ain't nothing that's gonna tell me anything else. And if I offended any of the players by that, that's a problem with you, bro. Like, you gotta check yourself. Like, sorry, I just went on tangent.
No, it wasn't tangent. The insight, your insight is, I think, what it's what I like to hear about you. I'm sure other people want to hear your insight into things because it's amazing.
Thank you.
It reminded me of that argument you got into with Brent after Muna came back. I remember like you guys got into that big argument because Spencer was picking Shireen, and then you were like, yo, you guys fight, and then like Brent came at you and you came at you, and that was the whole girl bye, boy bye. That was like my favorite part, my second favorite part. And so like the next day in the house, you guys are, you wanted to talk to him. And he was like, well, he was like ignoring you. He was like, well, I didn't want to talk to you because I'm upset. And you were like, I remember you said, you were like, yeah, just because I'm upset, like, that doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you. Like, that's all the more reason for us to talk. And like, I remember watching, I'd be like, that is such a real life response. Like, that's a real statement. Like, when you consider someone like your friend or your family and like, or like your person to whatever degree, right? And like, there's an issue, they get upset. It's like, yeah, just because we're mad, and it'd be like, now's the very reason we should talk. Like, we should talk it out. So you just kind of like explaining that and talking about that, like, it just reminded me of that moment because it was to me, it was such a reflection of your character.
Yeah. Like, I mean, trust me, I was not very happy with seeing that scene of the blow up, like, right? I guess it's good TV for some people, but for me, that was not a good space for me. I was not in that space for a long time, and I felt like I got so angry. Like, I was so hot. Not even just that moment. It was the jump rope scene. It was hot. It was very angry. And to put me in that situation, I knew it was like, I knew people was doing stuff that they was not supposed to do, because on a daily, I am not that mean. Like, I'm not mean. Like, I don't scream. I don't yell at people. Me and my girl we've been together for 7 years. We don't argue.
Wow.
We literally, if we're mad at each other, we don't raise our voice. We literally just sit there in silence. It's the worst. It is not good. That is silent arguing, but still, we don't argue out loud and screaming at the top of our lungs, putting our hands on. We don't do all that. You know what I'm saying? We argue in silence. It's still bad because energy be getting thrown, and you don't, you be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I felt bad about that moment, but shout out to Brent. Again, when I watched it, bro, I low-key thought it was good TV too.
I mean, it was pretty funny. It was pretty, but again, like, I mean, we can go on and on. Just
girls will not be happy about me saying that, but it was great TV, y'all.
Oh man. Let's get to the actual. We had questions prepared. We're over here talking about life philosophy, and so
I know I will go on a tangent. Don't let me.
No, we love it. We love it.
So like,
what was it like coming? You've played minis before. You're familiar with the game, but what was it like coming into the actual physical house and meeting everybody? What was that experience like?
Oh, it was like, okay, so it was real cool. Like, I personally didn't watch everybody's mini. I played in the minis, and I watched my mini. I watched a few that my little brother was in. I watched I think I watched like 2 after that, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. I'm a very busy person. I work 24/7. I have like 3 jobs. Like, if you want to consider what I used to do, which was a part of my shop, me and my friend worked together for a company. Well, not company. We had a company together, whatever. That was like 4 jobs. So I was doing that. I was traveling. I'm doing this. I'm like all over the place. But during my times when I would have time and Josh was on a mini or something, I would tune in for a little bit. So I didn't really know all the characters in there. So everybody has these notions of who a person's gonna play, or how they gonna play. They got all these little poisons in their mind. Me, I'm like, they all think they big threats. I'm a big threat. They don't even know it. Like, because they're so focused on everyone else in the game. So like, when I walk in the house, only person I was a little teed by or nervous by is Jay West. I'm like, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. Like, I'm like whatever he said, I forgot what he said now. Look, I'm so serious. Hold on.
What is that?
No, is it? Is that Jay West merch? Yep.
Oh, the humble pie.
Yeah.
It's always close by, brother. You already know. He gave this. So he was gonna wear this as the winner if he would have made it all the way. So shout out to this. He gave me this.
Shout out. Jay West is a fan too. He's always supporting us. So we appreciate the love. What's up, Jay West?
Jay West is everything. I love Jay West. His spirit is amazing. he's also very similar, like Kendrick Spirit, you know what I'm saying? He's very similar. When we talk, it's just like straight love all the time. So shout out to Jay West. But yeah, when I seen bro, I was like such a fan. I was like, oh shit, like what? It's about to go down. Then I seen Jacob. When I seen Jacob, I was like, I knew this boy was gonna be on here. My brother psyched me out. My brother told me he wasn't gonna be on the show. He's like, nah, he ain't gonna be on there because he got some like modeling thing. So I'm thinking he's not gonna be on the show anymore. Then when I seen him, I was like, I knew it. Like in my heart. Thing is me and Jacob were on not a mini, but like we were on like a Zoom call one time. We was playing Among Us, and he didn't talk to me at all. Like. He didn't say nothing to me, just like what's up and bye. Like those are the two things but we played a whole game together. And then, the funny thing is we get in the house and we connected, but we didn't really connect. We connected more so because Muna made that a connection. And Marcelo too. Marcelo was making that a connection. But facts, like we didn't really connect until like later on in the game. So like I also seen Muna. When I seen Muna, I was like, oh, I see her all the time she's like Sequester famous, so I'm like, I wanted to work with Muna. Shireen, my first initial like reaction like about Shireen, I didn't know Shireen was a Survivor player. I'm not one to watch like Survivor, Big Brother. I don't have time to watch reality TV shows. I'm focused on trying to get this bag and trying to be an artist, like for real. So when they said it, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and then I didn't know like really, the like Survivor. What it is like really so till after the season. But so in the moment I'm thinking, everybody's like, oh, she's a big threat, blah blah blah. I'm like, what is a big threat? Like it's the first day, like for real. It's like funny. But like Katie, I so thought something totally different about Katie. And like it's just a lot. Like my first initial reaction to like everybody was just like, all right, y'all think y'all pretty dope. I'm dope too. Josh though, my boy, me and that boy connected like next level. Me and him connected, me and Rachel connected, me and Shireen connected. We all connected, but Britt, he didn't want to connect with me. We connected a little bit. We connected for a moment. Like we talked a little bit. We got real deep. For a moment we talked about like relationships. We got a little deep, and then it was it was like I guess because it was so many different other people like he wanted to work with too. Like I think that kind of got swept under the rug a little bit, but yeah, it was pretty dope.
That's so interesting how you describe that experience, because we've asked that question to everybody, and often the response is kind of something about like their living conditions, or it's something about their experience. Whereas yours was literally a rundown of how every other person responded to the situation. That just shows the kind of game you were playing. Like you said, you were focused on a selfless game, focused on other people, and it's. So that answer was a perfect example of how you played. That was crazy.
Like I literally can tell you everything that people did on the first day. And I don't remember a lot of other things, but the first impression is the impression that stuck the most with me. Yeah. And it says a lot though, also, because like, to be honest with y'all, people like, oh, Muna was my number one at first. Muna was like a part of my four, right? But Muna wasn't my number one. She wasn't my number one at first. A lot of people like Spencer came up to me and Spencer was like, Billy, we played in this mini together. He had to remind me. I forgot we played in this mini together. Then, because he's so tall and in the mini, he looked like this, like short. So I wasn't expecting it. So I'm like, he's so tall. And then he reminded me we were in the mini, and then that I had voted with him. He reminded me. I was like, oh, thank God. So he, he saw me as one of his real close allies. Me and Marcelo was talking like we brother and sister on the show. So it fooled me. A lot of stuff like fooled me there. But me and Shireen, hey, I'm on an interview, girl. But like, so me and Shireen though, like Shireen and me had a conversation that will forever stick. Like I don't gotta talk to this girl every day. I love that girl unconditionally. Like you could just if you know Shireen, like know Shireen, if you get to really know Shireen, you'll just really like her as a person. She's amazing. Brendan and me like was very surface, like, and it's cool. Like we were surface, like we talked about the generic stuff, like music and stuff like that. But it still was cool. Like his energy wasn't off. It didn't make me feel no type of way. Yeah. Although he played the type of game he played, his game wasn't really bad. It never hurt me in any way, you know. But yeah, I can go on and on about first impressions. I'm telling y'all.
You really were locked in on everybody in that house.
That's a good point, though. We asked everybody that question, and like no one gave an answer like that. Everybody was focused on like themselves. Oh, I was nervous. I was this. I. Like they weren't, but you were like stacking up the competition. And I think the amazing thing about your game too that I always love when I see in shows like Big Brother. Like I'm a huge Big Brother fan. I love that when you see a dominant player, right? When you see somebody who they're clearly a dominant player, but they're also comfortable not pushing themselves up to be in the lead, right? Like you clearly walk in, you're like, okay, all these people are concerned about, you know, big threats and da-da-da. They don't see I'm a big threat. And like the ability of you to not have the ego to be like, oh, I need to show them, like, I'm here to play. Like, I'm here to like, I'm going to be the dominant one. I'm going to call the shots. I'm going to tell you who's going to do this. Like you were very comfortable being like, oh, you guys want to take each other out? Cool. I'll chill back here. I'm going to know everything that's going on. And I'm going to peep everything. But that ability to allow yourself to take that back seat, which I feel like a lot of people, their ego gets the best of them. Yeah. And then they feel like they have to assert themselves. And then they make themselves a target. Like it was perfect. Like I feel like we could just go on and on about your game. Like there were so many things about it we'd be watching, be like, yo, like even me and Melissa were saying, like, I was like, I don't, and this is usually the last question we ask, but I'm gonna ask it now because like, I would love to see you on a show like Big Brother, because I feel like those abilities, you don't see them in people. Like you don't see them able to like execute it so flawlessly. And I think it would just be amazing to watch you on that sort of.
Do you think now that I played Sequester, like, because there's a lot of people that's from Big Brother, like that follow me on Twitter. Shout out to y'all. You know, it's a lot of y'all, so I can't even really name y'all. Even. But hey, no, shout out to Ryan Edler. I think I said his name wrong.
Ryan who? Ryan from Big Brother? There's a Ryan.
No, not Ryan. There's Brian who Elder. Brian Rick and Morty. He knows if he's watching.
Okay. All right, if he's watching, he'll know.
Right. Drop a like, drop a comment.
Hamza's probably watching. He's been
Hamza. Shout out to Hamza. Shout out to Hamza.
Stir the pot.
But we like so. You don't think that they would think like, okay, we gotta watch out for this girl?
I don't think it would matter.
Yeah,
I don't think it would matter because I think your play style. I said this. We spent a lot of time just talking about how dope your game was. And like, it's crazy you don't watch these other shows because I don't think you realize how much more dope you are than a lot of these other people. But like, I've never seen a person play such an emotion-driven game that's still so smart and yet so genuine. Like these three things don't often work together. Either people play really smart games, but they're not who they really are. They're very calculated. It's not emotional. Or they play super emotional, but a lot of it's manipulation. It's not real. But you managed to combine those three in a way I've never seen. And I don't know if anybody can prepare for that. Like, what are they supposed to do if you're a threat? Like, they're still going to like you, right? They're still going to want to talk to you about things.
There's nothing you can't like that. And the funny thing is, Jay West said this. Jay West said this in our Snapchat one time. He was like, we were all talking like, man, all y'all had LOSs, but Billy was playing with powers that we don't even know nothing about. For real.
Yeah.
For real. Like, it's like,
Jay West dropping a gem.
I know.
That's said that. I was like, you for real? Cause like, okay, y'all seen the crystals on my neck. Those crystals, I've had those crystals for 7 years. Those crystals are full with pure energy, great energy. I don't do wrong, bro. I don't steal from nobody. I don't try to, like, I try not to lie. Like, if I lie, I feel so bad that I lie. I might tell you 6 days later, I was joking because I've been sitting there pondering on, damn, did I ever say that I was a joke? Or like, you feel me? Like, it's that deep with me. Yeah. So I fill these crystals with love, energy, and all this. Like, I had an amethyst and rose quartz on my neck. Those crystals, like, I got a crystal right here. Like, this, shout out to Rachel. She bought this for my birthday. I love you so much. Thank you so much for my gift. But like, it's just even like that. Like, you know, I really, you can't be with me in the game. I told Josh that. I said, Josh, you can talk all you want, brother. You can say everything you want. I'm making it the final two, so I need you to prepare me for final two. Do it right now. Do it. Come on, ask me a question. It's funny. Like I don't know if they would ever even put me on Big Brother. It would be awesome. I heard a lot of bad horror stories about it. So
there are some.
I mean, and they have a new casting director, so who knows what direction they're going to go into. Like, the thing with Big Brother, like, you know, me and Moses talked about it, like, I don't think they're even really casting real people. They're casting like stereotypes of people. You know what I'm saying? Like characters. They have like characters, these like slots they want to fill of like the type of person they think would make good TV. Like, I don't know if they're casting like real people, but you know, it'd be amazing to see you on a show like that. I think it'd be really amazing.
Yeah.
Because right, they wouldn't be prepared. Like
you can't prepare for that. You really can't.
I mean, unless you put another player similar to me. Like I got a lot of friends that are very similar to me, and I don't have many friends. Let me stop. I got a lot of family. Let's say family, because these are you can't be my friend for long. Either if you're my friend for too long, you're not my friend. So like family, like I got a lot of family, very like-minded. Like a lot. Like if we were playing in the game, like they should put. If they was to play a game with all my homies, I want to see who would make it to the end. Cause like a lot of them folks is messing with some like they're like all in tune with not like I believe that you just have to be a selfless individual. You have to love your hardest in this life, and you have to appreciate the smallest things in life to gain the most in life. Mm-hmm. That's really life. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for coming to Billy's TED Talk. Okay.
This is church.
Amazing. This is church. This is TED Talk. This is a spiritual cleanse, honey.
That's the wine around.
It's given. Oh my goodness. It's given.
You go on and on. I'm so sorry. I'm telling you, stop me because I'm telling you.
No, this is there's been no other interview like this. So we're trying to stick to questions, but they really don't matter.
I don't even know what questions we have. We're just discussing it. We're just like catching up. This is
What was it like? I mean, you kind of addressed this, but what was it like being outside the house and watching this whole season? Were you watching it as it was airing? And if so, what was that like?
I was so nervous, y'all. Every episode was so nervous because like I let production, like, they tell everybody, like, while you're in the house, they say, hey, if there's, we'll start sending these clips. If you don't like the clips, you can tell us to take it out and all this. I didn't do any of that. And granted, even if I wasn't in my spot, I still wouldn't have done it. That's just not me. It's just like, I let them do their thing. And so I never knew what was going down. Even finale, right? They wanted to show me finale on Saturday. And I was like, they was like, do you want to see it, Billy? I was like, no, I want to watch it when everybody else is watching it. Like, I want to be as excited as y'all are excited when you're watching. I know what I did. I know the outcome. I knew everything before anybody. So I'm watching as people are doing podcasts and they're talking, they're making up their assumptions or they're writing their little tweets. I'm like, y'all so funny. Ha ha, kiki, like, and to watch the season, I would sit there like my dad was so funny. Like, I love to watch the season with my family because my family also never seen it and they don't know what I kept that a secret. I kept, the only person that really knew I won was my mom. And I was afraid because I should never tell my mom because my mom tells everybody anything. I'm pretty sure.
Gonna be like, that's my baby.
I know. I'm pretty sure my Aunt Willa knew because she said, I just knew you did something amazing. I'm like, Mom, did you tell her? Like I didn't tell nobody. I promise. Shout out my mom. She amazing. I love you, Mom. Thanks so much for watching every episode like a real true fan. I appreciate you so much, Mom. It means the world to me. So she would watch. So like my dad goes to sleep. Like he's one of those guys,
Which is like every dad.
Yeah, it's like 80% of dads are like that.
Like sitting there, he go, I'm like, Dad, you was just talking to me. He'll go to sleep talking, So he came down, it was date night. Okay. Was it date night or was it? No, it was Muna's episode when I had to vote for Muna. And I was dreading that episode. I was like, everybody's gonna think I'm not loyal because they don't see my perspective of the game. But then, it was shown on camera what really happened and stuff like that. So it was like, I was like, damn, I voted for her. I should never voted for her. And I was like, I'm not watching it. And then my dad's like, what? He's like, why you not gonna watch it? I was like, so my girl, she's like, I'm gonna watch it. I don't care. She puts it on the TV on downstairs. So we're sitting there and I'm like this on the couch. And I'm like, ooh, ooh. And he's like, are you serious right now? I said, yes. What do you mean? I didn't see it. I'm watching myself for the first time. So then I watched the whole episode. I was like, that's good. Like, it wasn't that bad. So like I did that a lot of times, like Killer vs. Detective round. I was very nervous because I played the killer, but I didn't know how I played the killer. You know, like I knew I did well. I knew I ended up, but I didn't know all of them did not suspect me. You know, so then you watch it back. I'm like, damn, I did very well. So you know, I'm applauding myself in moments. In some moments, I'm sitting there like, you know, I should not be going after this player. I don't like that I'm going after this player. Oh my God, you're really blinded right there, Billy. Oh my God, Marcelo's about to do you like this. Oh shit, it wasn't Marcelo, it was Jacob the whole time. No, it's Natalie. So, it's like those moments. I didn't see those moments. I didn't know Natalie did that ever. I knew she voted for Muna, but I didn't know that was her play. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like she Jacob started that, but Natalie finished it and she took that shit home. Natalie was the one that really pushed it, you know, and there only 3 votes came out of it, but still Mona got eliminated. Something worked. So it was crazy watching the season.
Yeah. It's like being in the passenger seat of with a crazy driver, right? Like you know you're going somewhere on vacation with them. You know where you're gonna end up, but you're like, man, I didn't know we were gonna take all these turns.
Safe, but they're
right. Yeah, that's a wild experience.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I don't know if I have any other questions. This is just amazing. Like I feel like this is just like vibe. Like it's just like really vibing.
No questions, all vibes.
Yeah, all vibes. Oh man.
Is there anything you wanted to? Well, we're for sure going to give you a chance to like promote your music. I saw. I think your audition video you sang and rap, right?
Yeah.
That was dope. I came across. I was like, this is super dope. I got to send it to you. It was amazing. But like before that, though, were there anything about the game you wanted to talk about? Any moments that you feel like you haven't had a chance to discuss, or any feelings you've had that you haven't been able to process?
I mean, I feel like my game itself was like self-explanatory. I played a fucking ass game. Nobody played a game like that. So I just want I want to talk to people who don't believe, like a lot of people like, well, you know, if Natalie didn't do this for you, but Natalie did. Like you have to understand she actually did. Doesn't matter what happened.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, they would get credit for what happened. And I get that y'all think, oh, I played a sweet and nice and oh, I was loud here and there. I was very open. There was many times this entire season, people could have pulled me into a battle match. I wasn't throwing votes to be like, I was throwing votes because I had too many alliances. Oh, well, you see how everybody loved me. I get stabbed. So it's a lot of things like I made, and Audrey told me this. She said, and she put it in my mind to say it like this verbatim because I don't know how to recognize a lot of the moves I really made. But one of the moves she said to me, she said, do you know what was so great about your game is I made social contracts. And what I would make, not social contract, verbal contracts, where I would be like little things like telling Marcelo, hey, Marcelo, I'm going to vote for you. You know, I'm sorry I got to vote for you here, but this is the why. At that moment, Marcelo could have known, like, Billy's never going to vote with me, or, you know, if I can't control Billy's vote, I don't want to fuck with her no more. But he didn't feel like that. He wanted to work with us so bad all the way to the end. He felt like he was under fire that next following round once he was exposed, because I think it started to become like it was a realization to people later on. But while I was watching, that's when I figured this out. Not during the game. Like during the game, I didn't know. I didn't know like I was like really like that much. You know, you gotta understand. A lot of people kept me out of stuff. So out of the loop, I'm feeling like you going for me. You going for my allies. You going for me. You trying to take one of my kings and my queens and my rooks and my knights. You taking my key players. All y'all pawns gotta go. Like, in my mind, right? Because y'all supposed to be protecting. We all supposed to protect, and it's the last person standing. And I understand a game doesn't work like that. Like, it's not that beautiful, right? But I would love to watch something as beautiful as that. I feel like they kind of played it like the way it needed to be played for me. I was protected by all these individuals, and the moment that they discredited their own worth, or they felt like, I don't want to be loyal to the camp, I feel like there was like nobody but Natalie, Spencer, and Josh had to be sitting at Final Four, and in order for what happened to happen, I made them go to a will. That's the first time in Sequester history that there has been a will brought out on a live season. Come on. Like, I made them go to a will. Why I made them go to a will? Natalie wasn't working with me the whole game. She wasn't working with me. So it's like, come on, y'all, give me credit. I'm fired. I'm fired.
Flames. Yo.
You absolutely deserve all the credit. You know, I think all some people have viewed it as like a lapse in Natalie's judgment or whatever, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't. People, 100% you did the work. Period. You put in the work and you got the result.
Yeah.
I figured it like it that is the perfect example. Like, I thought like so I read a book, you know, EQ, y'all had to, because you said emotional intelligence. Yeah. So I read the beginning of EQ. I was gifted that book by one of my favorite companies, Red Ventures. Shout out to Red Ventures. Oh my God, it put me in the life that I live right now. You know, started my sales career. But so Red Ventures gifted me this book, Rick Elias. He gave me the book. He said, this book right here is a book that would help a lot of people in sales industry, because it would teach you emotional intelligence. And I read a little bit of it, and I took the emotional intelligence test, and I think I was like a 6, like 4 years ago. It was like a 6. And now I believe my emotional intelligence is a lot higher, even down to like getting into situations where, like, being in the car and there is a lot of traffic. I used to have so much. I had bad anger issues. Why the fuck are you like that type of energy? Like, it was like boom, boom, hitting the steering wheel. Like, why are you so mad? Like, why are you so mad right now, Ashley? Calm down. And it's like those moments. Like, now that doesn't affect me. Like, if I'm in traffic, I'm in traffic. Oh well, I'm gonna get there when I get there. Any time is on time for me. Like, I'm not gonna rush for. Like, I felt bad though, like, for y'all interview, because I felt tired.
You were late. I forgot it was East Coast time. So when I was saying like 6:30, you were like, "Oh, I'm late." I was like, "No, you're not."
Yeah. But I like, even like, so like, just to share like something personal. Like, recently I was going to like this little meeting with this producer, and I was on my way, and they sent me a track, and I hated it. Like, I was like, this track's bleeding. It's so bad. Like, how are they even the engineer? Like, I was going in on them. Don't know these people from a can of paint. And I ended up listening to the track in my car again. But then I listened to it through my headphones, and I was like, it's actually a dope track. I said, you know what? You need to calm your ego, Billy. You tripping. Like, calm what you got going on right now, and humble yourself. And I said, you right. Like, literally, just as simple as I just said it like that. Like, it was like, Billy, too much ego right now. Like, and I was like, I kind of got disgusted with how just whatever I was doing in that moment. And I checked myself, and I went to this meeting with this energy at first that, you know, over the phone, everybody was talking. I was very aggravated with my manager. I was like, shout out my manager about Kim. I know he ain't gonna watch this because he's just a busy guy. But I love you, brother. Whenever we on, I'm gonna show it to you and be like, look, I ain't gonna show you. But so I'm on the phone with my manager, and I'm like, man, why you putting me on features? I don't want to be on features. Blah blah. I was like, bro, am I on speaker? And he's like, yeah, you on speaker. So now all these people have this perception of me because I'm being a little bitch. I'm sorry.
No, you can say whatever.
Okay, cool. Bitch. I was being a bitch. So I was like, calm your ego. I calmed my ego. I went to the situation and it was just great vibes. I walked in freestyling. I was just on point. It was like just all great vibes. And then later on, post recording and sitting down, just getting to know each person. These people got accolades beyond my career, like making me think, like me as an artist, I should be happy to be graced in their presence. And I'm sitting there and commanding the room and everybody's staring at me. And I remember looking at one of the guys and I said, hey, bro, no cap, I'm gonna be the next Michael Jackson. He was like, what? I said, the next Michael Jackson. The same switch I seen in Natalie's eyes, it went off in his.
There it is.
That light went off in that man's eyes. Like he was like, he an A&R for Atlanta. So he yeah, I seen it go off in his Sony, wrong label, Sony. And he was like, I was like, man.
You're like, I got it. I got it.
I want to, we're basically at time. I wanted to end on, I have like one of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite mantras. You're a musician. I just like music, but John Mayer, I'm a big fan of his. He has a quote that says, I believe that my life's going to see the love I give return to me. And I feel like you embody that so much, and your gameplay in the house was, I think everyone experienced it. The viewers, other people in the house, like you give this love. And the fact that Natalie saved your game at the end was perfect, because that's what happens. Like it's you give it freely, but it comes back when you need it. And I just want to say that because I think that's really what you accomplished.
Thank you, Moses.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Like, that means a lot to me. Hey, shout out to Real Siblings, Real Talk. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? 2021. Hey, you want to make things happen in your life? All you have to do is believe, manifest. I'm telling you, one doubt will spread like cancer and change the whole picture. So if you want to believe, you got to believe in your vision. You got to manifest. Shout out to God. Shout out to the prayer of Jabez. That definitely helped me solidify that win. Yeah, shout out to my music career.
Yeah, where can we see your music?
So I'm actually gonna be I'm gonna try to like drop. I might actually be doing like a little podcast kind of, I guess.
Okay,
I'm gonna start my own little podcast about like speaking about like, positivity and just being who you are and loving yourself. And I love myself, and I want a lot of people to understand that it is simple and easy. Love yourself more than the other people love you, or you got to remember that self-love is the best love. And then also at the same time, I'm gonna be dropping some fire music. Like I got some fire music. I got some music that's gonna feed the soul, and I got some music that's gonna feed the streets. I also got some music that's gonna change the lives, change lives. So shout out. Oh, also let me plug this, because I didn't plug it last night.
This is your show. This is Real Talk with Billy CEO. Say what you gotta say.
This is the biggest thing that has ever happened to me in life. Okay? I don't know if I can like drop names of what's about to happen, but because of Sequester, I can now say I am going to have a docuseries about my life, about my family. It's going to be a whole docuseries, completely produced professionally. Shout out.
Wow.
That's going to be in the coming months.
Man,
absolutely. It's gonna be. You gotta do the boom boom.
I was trying to do it. I was trying to do it.
Were you looking for it?
No, I got it.
There we go.
Oh, yo. That's amazing.
I know that's next level.
That's amazing.
It's gonna be the Life of Billy CEO and on the making. I don't know what the show's actually gonna be called. We're still working on all of the logistics, but I do gotta say a million shout out to production. The quality of this season was beautiful. It has again changed my life. This is allowing me to go on to a bigger level, put me in a different mindset, allowed me to appreciate myself for who I am, because I was afraid to be fully a loving individual and afraid that people are going to take advantage of me. So Sequester has changed my life. I want to say shout out to Audrey. You're a beautiful woman. I appreciate you for all that you have done. Shout out to to Jordan, Jordan for sticking it out during editing and being amazing executive producer. Shout out to TR. Shout out to Joe Paul for being there during the moments when I needed you the most. Just even the shaking and the nodding of the head when I needed it the most. It never talked to me, but shout out to you, Joe Paul. So let me say Joe Paul. So I don't know why I said it. Joe the Shows. Said his name, whole government. Shout out to TR, shout out to Mallory, shout out to Jay, shout out to Fembot, and shout out to
Fembot. Not Fembot getting the shout out.
Yeah, shout out to them all. Shout out to Faye, shout out to Jake, shout out to them all. Shout out to the whole cast. We all did amazing. We all looked so beautiful. It just was an experience.
You are a grateful person, and we are grateful for you. Would you be willing to give the Real Talk with Real Siblings sign out? Just tell them to like and subscribe, and
yes,
it's been Real Talk with Real Siblings.
Make sure you like and subscribe to Real Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Talk with Real Siblings.
Yo.
Let's go.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
The incomparable, the one and only Billy CEO. Thank you so much.
You already know.
Bye, y'all.
You were amazing. Bye,
Thank y'all.